Hello, everybody. I know it's Saturday, but I just felt like there was something that I almost ranted about yesterday, but I decided, you know what? Let's do a live on it and let's bust these myths wide open. And so, that's what I want to do today. I want to share with you a couple of myths that I know kept me playing small for a while and can keep you from playing small in your business if you knew the truth. And so I'm going to break them wide open for you, at least from my perspective. And yeah, that's what I'm here for today. So, first myth keeping you playing small is the myth of hustle. We hear it all the time, hustle today or, side hustle, all those things that keep us focused on work. And I mean keep us focused on tasks, I guess I should say, on busyness rather than momentum and things that are really important to move us forward. We've somehow convinced ourselves that as long as we're doing stuff, we're growing our business, and that's simply not true. You could be working the hardest you have ever worked in your life, and you probably will if you're growing a business alongside your full-time job or even just growing your business. You're gonna work hard, but if you're working hard and all you think is as long as you're doing stuff, then things will happen, it's just not true. You could be cutting yourself off by doing so many things instead of focusing in on the right things to find clients, the right things to get in front of the right people, the right things to establish yourself as an authority and build your audience and impact. Not just for the short term, but for the long haul, right? It's all about taking the right activities, getting the right people to you so that you can change the way that they do something, serve them in the way that you're meant to serve them. So I think this hustle culture that we've created has really crippled us and even kept us from creating systems and structures in our own lives to deal with things better. And here's what I mean. I used to be a hustle person. I used to think that if I had to get up at 5 a.m. and work, and I had to sit down right after work and work, or use my lunch hour for everything. And I did do those things for a long time, and those things were great. But I also discovered that there are just a few things that if I do them every week, that are smaller but more focused, then that's where the magic happens. And so I was able to scale back from putting every ounce of me out there all the time and exhausting myself on the side of my full-time job to build two businesses, because I was able to narrow in on, a handful of hours a week that I could focus, do the right tasks, and get my business moving forward. So it's not about doing all the things, it's about doing the right things, right? So that's why I want you to consider less hustle, a little more flow, and focusing on things of significance. I think sometimes we distract ourselves because it makes us feel better to do things. And I'm raising my hand because I am that person. I feel 1,000 times better just doing stuff, just moving forward. And sometimes it's actually hurting us because when we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not taking care of our business either. So those are some things to consider. As you're looking forward into hustle for yourself, what does that look like? How are you hustling that you don't need to? And what are the most important tasks you need to be focused on? And how can you do those and systematize those so that you don't drive yourself crazy, you don't wear yourself out, and you're taking advantage of the gifts that you've been given and moving your business forward instead of just staying stuck because you have so many things to do. So that's myth number 1, is about hustle. Myth number 2 is about visibility. You will hear this word everywhere all the time. It wasn't even a concept that I thought of that way until this year, but it's really just another way to say marketing. how do you get online marketing? You get visible in the right places. And I think that's step one is visibility. People think means you just sort of have to be everywhere. That's not true. You have to be everywhere that your client is, or the most important places that your clients are, but not everywhere all the time. So that's part one of busting visibility myth. The other part is that people have somehow equated visibility to only being seen in Facebook groups. And to me, this was a new phenomenon for me this year. I had never, ever really, I had only been in Facebook groups that were part of my, the programs that I had been a part of, the paid courses I had taken and the trainings I had done, they had private Facebook groups. I was in those. I had my own for my cheerleading one. Other than that, I basically had no idea that this existed. That there was this whole other world of groups. And yet my business was fine. My business was growing even. In fact, my cheerleading business operates 0% in Facebook groups other than the one that they get whenever they become part of my program. So it's not really part of my marketing strategy. I don't use it at all. And yet I'm an authority in my field and have a growing business that grows all the time. And that's because I'm marketed in the right ways and I'm marketed for sustainability. I think Facebook groups are great in a short term and even as a long-term marketing plan if that's where your clients are. Cheerleading coaches, not so much. People who need business coaches, more. So I'm definitely in Facebook groups. That is not the only place that I am marketing. I am marketing on my own website. I am marketing in my own email, on my own social channels, but also other people's things. I'm collaborating with people. I'm getting my name in guest posts in different places. I am writing, I am giving, I am serving in other places where my clients are, where they will be seen, where I will be seen, where people can find me, where things can happen. And I think so often we limit ourselves in this really full pool of people in Facebook groups. And that's great if you want to be doing that forever and ever, but there's going to come a point when you're going to want to escalate, right? If you're trying to get to that passive income point, Facebook groups aren't passive. You have to be there all the time, right? And so finding ways to do that if that's what you love, but there are so many other available channels to market on that are better for you in the long term, that require less of you in the long term, and that are more permanent than Facebook groups. In a Facebook group, things disappear so fast. Even when I search my name to make sure that I didn't already post something in a group, I have to comb through, and the stuff that I post goes so quickly that it's oh, that was just 2 days ago, and it's not there, it's not showing up. Or it is where it's so far down, right? But what we forget is things like SEO. While the algorithm changes, it will always be there. It will always be a part of the equation. Getting found in Google is huge. Being recognized in other places, whether it's PR or your, guest posting, getting on some other well-known websites, not only is that searchable, that's reaching a new audience, and that's authority building. You are becoming an expert, a leader where you are. So really expanding your mind to reach beyond these things, to reach out to people that, aren't just in this little pool, because sustainability requires more than just this, more than this just now. And it's great in the short term. I use it every day. Do not get me wrong. But to think that visibility means only Facebook groups is to play small, is to not think about the business that you want to grow eventually. It's keeping you narrow. And that's why in Believers Business Academy, I focus on helping you with both of these myths. One, I help you manage your time and create those systems so that you're able to focus and help you figure out what are the most important things to focus on. So you know what are the activities you need to take every week. What are the activities you need to be working on, and where in your schedule can you put them so that you're not overwhelmed, and how can you create the rituals and things just to get things done so that you're not sitting in front of a computer and frustrated, so that you're not missing out on what your family and friends are doing, that you are actually able to participate in life while also building your business, even if you're doing something else full time. Second thing that I help you with is visibility, and not just Facebook group visibility. I will definitely touch on that, but it's also super important to be growing and reaching new audience members and new audiences in different places. So I will show you how to use the different channels that you need to be using, and what are some strategies and ways to get noticed and be an established leader and build your email list and your reach and your engagement so that you are an established leader and are seen by the right people, not by everyone, by the right people, and can grow your business in a way that will build upon itself for time to come. My most popular blog posts are ones that I wrote 3 years ago, but they still keep coming up in Google because they have credibility. So if you're not taking advantage of some of those great channels, those strategic things, you could be harming yourself in the long term. So that's why in Believers Business Academy, we're focusing on both of those things: managing time, taking the most important actions, and also reaching out beyond what you are experiencing now, reaching out and going beyond to establish your authority and your leadership in whatever it is that you do and you want to become, because that's where the magic happens in your business, and that's where growth happens and sustainability. You are building a business that lasts, a life that means something, and Believers Business Academy will help you with that. So if you're interested, it's still open. Cart closes next Friday, so I hope that you will jump on and check it out at kateboyd.me/BBA, because it's really affordably priced, and it's going to really help you build the business that will be there for you in the long run, so that you can scale up and have freedom in your life and in your business. So I hope you'll check it out, and I will see you soon.